Okay, all right. Welcome everybody, and I declare the April Audit Committee meeting open and welcome councillors and staff. Disclaimer, members of the public are advised that recommendations to council contained within this agenda can be subject to changes. Applicants and other interested parties should refrain from taking any action until written advice is received confirming council's decision with respect to any particular issue. Acknowledgement of country. The Shire of Harvey acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land and their continuing connection to the land, waters and community. We pay our respects to all members of the Aboriginal communities and their cultures, and to elders and emerging elders both past and present. Record of apologies and leave of absence. I have an apology from Councillor Crispin, and I welcome Councillor Dickinson for deputising. Thank you, Councillor Dickinson. Declarations of members and officers' personal interests. Are there any councillors or staff? None. Response to previous questions taken on notice is nil. Public question time is nil. Petitions, deputations, presentations and submissions is nil. Confirmation of minutes. We have an officer's recommendation here for the minutes of the Audit Committee meeting held on Tuesday the 18th of March be confirmed as a true and correct record. Do I have a mover for that one, please? Councillor Bromham, a seconder. Councillor Hitchcock, thank you. Likely to be any discussion, councillors, over the minutes? If not, I'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. We'll now move into the officers' reports. Item 8.1, which is the Audit Regulation 17 Quarterly Report. This is for Quarter 3, 24-25. We have an officer's recommendation here. Do I have a mover for this one, councillors? Councillor Dickinson, thank you. A seconder? Councillor Holly, thank you. Is there likely to be any discussions or questions around this one, councillors? Councillor Coleman, thank you.
Just a question, please. I noticed the use of the word the Harvey Multipurpose Healthcare Centre. Is that our healthcare centre in Beecher Street?
Acting CEO.
Thank you for the question. I would have to refer to that if you just give us a moment so that we can have a look at it. Can you tell us exactly where?
Under the lease management? Sorry, under lease management.
I can respond to that through the chair. I believe that's the child health building, which is next to the hospital.
Query then, why have we changed the name all of a sudden?
Community.
Through the chair, I'm not aware that the name has changed. That's perhaps what was on the original agreement.
You're right, Councillor Holly?
Yeah,
all good?
now I am, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Alrighty. All right. Any other questions, councillors? No? All right. We've got a mover and a seconder. No further questions. I'll put this one to the vote. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. I'll move on to item 8.2, which is the Strategic Risk Register 24-25 Quarterly Report. This is for Quarter 3. We have an officer's recommendation as written. Do I have a mover for this one, councillors? Councillor Bromham, thank you. Seconder. Councillor Dickinson, thank you. Any questions, councillors, in regards to this report? Yep, councillor Coleman, thank you.
Thank you. On page 8, it says, gee, this is loud. It talks about the providing creche services to the leisure centre. Have we got any updates on how well that's doing?
Through the chair, thank you. Yes, we do. It is doing extraordinarily well in terms of the numbers, what we're doing at the moment, and I imagine your question relates to whether or not we're considering the future of that operation. We are in the process of surveying and establishing the data around that particular service. It does jump up and down, so the number of families that are affected either way changes from week to week. So we're trying to get an average, which is why it's taking the time to establish that.
Thank you. And averages are always very difficult, aren't they, in populations? On page 10, we talk about the CCTV implementation, and I know that we did have some money in the budget for establishment of the CCTV into the police area this financial year, and then we talk about developing the next 5 years a CCTV workforce plan. So just wondering, are we on track to get the CCTV into the police this year to get the ball rolling, and how far away are we from a works plan for CCTV for the next 5 years?
Mr Winter?
Yeah, thank you, Councillor, and through you, Madam President. The CCTV implementation, as budgeted for this year, will get pushed back to next financial year. The majority of that project really is CCTV around the skate park, which is now expanded to be the skate park and the playground. And the second arm of that is to include a television and the ability for the local police in Harvey to see what's happening over that. So that project won't really happen until we have a bit of a footprint with the playground. We know how the playground and the toilets is going to sit in relation to the skate park. And then following that, we'll then get that implementation into the police as well. There is a little bit of red tape to get around in relation to the police. We've experienced that with the Australian police station. So I dare say there's going to be a little bit of a time frame in getting that actually into the Harvey police station. That revolves around relates to their network and security of their network, and having to keep what we put in there totally separate, and the agreements of that. In relation to the forward capital works plan for the CCTV, we actually have a program currently. Council adopted that last year. It hasn't been updated this year, but as far as the first few years, they plan to roll out from that plan. So the plan does need to be updated for the latter part of what's in that plan, but if Council need a copy of that, or I can furnish what was adopted.
That'd be great, thank you, because I've had a few queries from business owners in town who are constantly getting hassled or problems with break-ins and the like, and they're interested in even contributing to CCTV number plate recognition in the main street in conjunction with the police. So I've had questions saying, we've seen it in the budget, where are we at? So just a bit of a heads up, that may come to council or the Shire in the future. Yep.
Any other questions, councillors? Yep, Councillor Coleman, yep.
Sorry. On page 11, we talk about resilience to communities, and it says that a partnership invitation was extended to the following community groups to apply for a 3-year partnership. I'm just wondering, why would we, it's a grant process, why would we extend an invitation to a select number instead of having an open and fair application process?
Through the chair, this was the subject of a report to council where we received endorsement from council to open the partnerships category. The reason that it was by invitation was because it was identified that these were organisations that received ongoing funding over a number of years and that would benefit from the surety of an ongoing partnership. So that was the reason that it was done by invitation.
So in the future, will our report suggest that those partnerships will be open to application, given that these were obviously established this year and our parameters changed? Will it be an open and fair application process in the future?
That will be up to council. We will make that option available to council.
Just as a follow-up on that, because the application currently on the website says that you have to apply for a partnership rather than be invited to participate.
There's a point of order here, I think. I understand I don't probably mean this, but you're indicating that a decision of council, you're talking against it, saying it's unfair. And I don't believe it was. I think the idea was to provide a invitation to those things like the Harvey Festival and things that happen every year, Brunswick here, the big events, so they're not re-churning the wheel. I believe that was the case.
Listen, I see where Councillor Coleman's coming from, and I understand, Councillor Bromham, that as you rightly said, and the acting CEO has indicated that this was an invitation was put out to select community groups who have annual events. So it was in order to simplify that process. And maybe, Councillor Coleman, I take your point, and we'll just ask the acting CEO to just review the wording around invitation as opposed to applying for a partnership. Just seek clarification on that.
Thanks, Madam President, because I'm reading directly off the report that's in our agenda today. Another question, the development of a local reconciliation action plan. Have we proceeded with that? Do we have something concrete as yet?
Through the chair, we have, council may recall approving the appointment of an Aboriginal trainee as part of the mid-year budget review. That is in process, and that's what we are waiting on. Where we're at with that is that we've developed up a position description, and we've been consulting with the local traditional owners over that position description to make sure that it fits with the cultural protocols and things that they would expect to see, but we're yet to receive that final feedback from them.
Thank you, sorry. Have we, where are we at, sorry, with page 19, calling for expressions of interest for the proposed Ridley Place Foreshore Cafe?
I'm afraid I'll have to take that one on notice unless the Manager of Governance has any... No. I know we were dealing with the Department of Planning over land tenure and title issues, but I would have to take that on notice and get back to you. Thank you.
I know that it's coming up in 2026. The development of a local public health plan is due by June 2026, I believe. Have we sort of started on that track?
Through the chair, yes, we have. So that's in the process of being developed.
might throw one in while Councillor Coleman's looking. Just progress on the ERP migration. How is that coming along? Anyone in a position just to give us a bit of an update on that one?
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. This is probably going to end up in a presentation coming to Council at a concept forum in the next month or two. There has been some delay in the data migration, which we sort of thought may happen, but that delay with data migration has pushed back the user acceptance testing in different phases of the ERP. And whereas we have a timeline to go live 1st of July this year, we're still planning on that. However, we're having discussions with them of what possibilities there are to push that back either 3 months or 6 months. At this stage, though, the plan is still to go 1st of July. There has been additional impacts in that. I mean, finance, for example, Sunil and his team have been, they had their timeline to get the budget completed nice and early so that they could do the ERP implementation, sorry, the other way around. ERP implementation early, then do the budget early to have it adopted June and then back into the ERP. That's thrown all that a bit haywire. So I'll report on that with councillors later today. But it's progressing. A lot of things are happening in a lot of different areas, and keeping the communication alive is probably one of the biggest things that we're having to do at this stage.
Are there any other questions? Yeah, Councillor Coleman.
Thanks, Madam President. The annual employee wellbeing survey, has that just been done or about to be done or due this year?
Are you in a position to answer that one?
Yeah, sure. So through the chair, at the moment we're currently progressing with interviews using our partners Catalyse for a culture program. We are going to include as part of that process interviews and further questions to staff regarding wellness initiatives. It's also one of the CEO's KPIs to deliver the culture program. So when we provide a workforce plan update, I intend to include with the CEO some information about wellness at the Shire and the program.
Thank you.
All right, councillors, any other questions? All right, we've got a mover in Councillor Bromham, seconder Councillor Dickinson. If there's no further discussion, I'll put this one to the vote. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. All righty. Matters behind closed doors is nil. Being no more further business, I declare this meeting closed at 2:18 p.m.